Film, maybe you're about to jump on your bus. And my question to you is, do you believe in atheists? Because I would like to contend that there is no such thing as an atheist. If you're an atheist and would like to prove the existence of atheists tonight, I invite you to come to the microphone and do so. I'll be very welcome to entertain your attempts to do so, but I can categorically prove that there is no such thing as an atheist. Anyone like to prove that there are such things as atheists? Any atheists out here this evening that would like to prove your own existence? I thought so. You see, there are no such things as an atheist. It is absolutely impossible for there to be an atheist. Now let me break that down for you just 1 minute. The reason why there can be no such thing as an atheist is because an atheist is someone who says there is no God. That you know 100% with complete certainty that there is no God. But there is absolutely no one on the face of this planet that can say with 100% certainty that there is no God. If you think otherwise, I invite you to come and prove yourself, prove your theory on the microphone. What are you saying, my friend? You look like you want to take up the challenge. Come on, man. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. Are you an atheist? Are you an atheist? You don't know what you are? Okay. Alright, well, I was hoping for someone who's a bit more certain than that. Because come. So, would you agree?
Setting yourself as no certainty.
Ah, see? There we go. An honest man, if ever there was one. So I've just had one person come and prove my theory right, that there is actually no such thing as an atheist. He agreed that there cannot be anything that is known as an atheist. An atheist is someone who must be able to prove with 100% certainty that there is no God. You cannot do that, and because you cannot do that, you cannot call yourself an atheist. You would have to know every single inch of the globe. You'd have to know every piece of matter in every inch of the globe to know that God is not there. You'd have to know the farthest regions of the universe to know that God is not there. And so therefore you cannot prove that there is no God. You cannot be classed as an atheist. There is no such thing as an atheist. You would have to know everything that is able to be known about everything that exists in order to be able to say with 100% certainty that there is no God. You cannot do that. And if you can, I invite you to the microphone to prove me wrong. It's right here. You can prove that they're with 100% certainty. So talk to me, my friend.
Tell me, in the days when there was no cure for a simple thing as a fever, the people thought that there was God who's doing everything. They're punishing them for the things they've done bad. And now we know this simple virus which causes a fever. Now, there are things which we don't know now, right? Which will be discovered later on. And that will prove that it's not God which is doing it. It's things which are doing it.
So what you're saying is our ignorance proves that there is no God. Yeah, but then isn't that a self-defeating argument? If our own ignorance doesn't know things now about the future, doesn't that also suggest that our own ignorance could cause us to ignore the fact that there is a God? So you're not saying that we can find the cure for AIDS in the future, but we might not come to a more transparent realization that there is a God?
Absolutely. There is no God. No God exists.
Fam, come on, you're not being fair to yourself. Fam, come on, think about what you're saying, bro. You're not being fair to yourself. Explain.
He's just trying to prove that there is a God because there's something which we cannot explain. There's something which we cannot explain. We leave it to somebody who's above us.
No. That's not my argument. That's not my proposition tonight. No. That's not my proposition, bro.
That arrogant?
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. What I said was, you cannot prove with 100% certainty that there is no God.
I can say the similar thing. You cannot prove with 100% certainty that there is a God.
I don't have to. Because he has already proved that he exists. And we'll come back to that in a minute. That wasn't my proposition. My proposition is, you cannot prove with 100% certainty that there is, no it ain't, fam, no it ain't. Listen. I've proved that there is no such thing as an atheist. There is no such thing as an atheist. Okay, come to the mic, because I want you to come to the mic, man. Come closer to the mic. Alright, so what I'm saying, my proposition is this, yeah? With 100% certainty, I'm saying there is no such thing as an atheist. That's my proposition. That's all I have to prove. Now, this is my evidence. My evidence is this. In order to be categorically verified as a genuine article atheist, you would have to be able to prove that there is no such thing as a God. You'd have to be able to prove that with 100% certainty. And in order to do that, you would have to know everything that there is to know about everything in the universe to be able to say that God isn't behind the far-flung reaches of the outer solar systems, or you'd have to know that God isn't under the sand dunes in the Sahara Desert, or you'd have to know that God isn't... Am I lying? No, is that... So then my proposition stands. So no one can call themselves an atheist. You cannot be out here tonight and call yourself an atheist. The most that you can say is you're an agnostic, that you don't know if God exists. A lie? Now that we've established that, are you got a proposition to a counter proposition? All right, come on, let's have it. Let's have it.
And to be an atheist, you don't just have to be theist. It's against God. You don't have to believe, you don't have to know that God doesn't exist.
But by definition, atheist means A as in none, and theist, theing like for God, yeah. So there is not a God. That is the basic. But that's a blind faith, then, isn't it, mate? That's not the proposition on the table. What I'm saying is, you cannot with...
You can believe in not God as hard as you can believe in God.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, are you 100% certain?
Are you 100% certain?
I'm not actually an atheist.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Linguistically, you can be an atheist as hard as you can be a Christian.
But what I'm saying is, I could say that I'm the king of France. I can believe that I'm the king of France. That doesn't... Exactly. So then you're gonna come to me with historic facts and say there's no way that you can be the king of France. But just because I believe it, it doesn't make me the king of France. Just because somebody believes that they're an atheist, that doesn't make them an atheist. Because in order to genuinely be in order to be an atheist,
You're saying that somebody doesn't believe they're a Christian in exactly the same way.
someone doesn't believe. You said someone doesn't believe they're a Christian.
You're saying that an atheist can't be an atheist, but a Christian can be a Christian.
I am, because they're two different identities based. Hold on. I'm based on two different premises. Yeah,
I'm completely with you.
Okay, cool. What are you saying? What's your name?
This is fun.
What's your name? Andrew. It's nice to meet you, Andrew. I'm Efrem.
I want to ask you a question.
What are you saying?
Did Christ say he was the Son of God?
Hold on, that's not what we're dealing with right now. Let's stay on
You're a
topic
Christian.
first.
And that's all I want to ask you.
Let's stay on topic first.
You're on the topic, and I just want to, you said...
No, hold on.
When you finish, I want you to answer that question.
When I finish.
Yeah. Did Christ ever said he's the Son of God?
When I finish. Cool. Alright, so now that my proposition still stands, thank you, Andrew. It's been good speaking with you. Now that my proposition still stands, I would like to challenge you to consider where you stand in terms of eternal destiny. You cannot claim to be an atheist because you would have to have 100% certainty that God doesn't exist. And in order to have 100% certainty that there is no God, you would have to know everything that there is to know about everything that is able to be known in order to prove that God does not exist. And yet, We can therefore say that at best you are an agnostic. You do not know if God exists. Now, to take things a step further, I would like to put to you that God has revealed himself. He has revealed himself in the person of Jesus Christ. And having revealed himself in the person of Jesus Christ, a truly historical figure who can be traced back through the annals of history, and not just Christian history, but also quote-unquote secular historians such as Tacitus. I just gave you evidence. You could go and prove it wrong. Tacitus, Josephus, so that's a Roman. I'm telling you, historic fact, Richard. All right, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Tacitus, Josephus, both testified and spoke of the historical Jesus Christ. So we're not dealing with a myth. Listen, a historical person. Not a myth, not a legend, not just a character of fiction, not someone out of Walt Disney, but a living, breathing human being, walked this earth, born in Nazareth to Mary, born in Bethlehem, sorry, grew up in Nazareth. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Virgin. Let me finish the man. Lord have mercy. Alright, so now that we're understanding that we're dealing with an actual historical figure, what do you know about Jesus Christ? Anything that is able to be known about Jesus Christ. Hold on, my friend. Have you seen Caesar? Have you seen Caesar? You know the one, so Caesar never existed. Yeah? Alright, so you saw. You haven't seen. Have you seen Caesar, fam? Yeah, come, talk to me. Come.
Jamie.
So,
Jamie.
Alright, so you haven't seen God, and because you haven't seen God, you don't believe he exists. My point is, you haven't seen Caesar, but you believe that he exists, right? Yeah, and you know what, fam? What I want you to do is, I want you to look at your hand. I want you to consider the 40 million nerve endings in your eye. I want you to consider the complexity of your brain and understand that it didn't come about by accident. It didn't come about by accident.
Let's see how smart you are. Let's see how smart you are. When the first man came on this world, first man.
Sorry?
The first man, the first bones that you see in the world.
The first
man. You
man.
even know that. It's 140 years, probably 140 million years ago. And you didn't even know that. You want to talk about religion, man.
But
you can't talk if you don't know facts.
Listen, come on. Let's deal with things rationally. You understand?
I'm a Roman Catholic.
What's your name? I'm Efrem, yeah. So you could.
My mom is Muslim, I'm Roman Catholic, right?
Yeah.
So I see the religion from different aspects.
Right.
What I can tell you is that religion is something used for people, just to bond all the people.
I'm not here preaching religion.
Like sheaves.
I'm not here preaching religion. I'm not here preaching religion. I hear that. I want to take this because I'm dealing with things on a rational level.
You want to prove
you understand? I'm dealing with things on a rational level. I'm not dealing with conspiracy theories, and I'm not dealing with no religious theories. I'm dealing with Jesus Christ, the person of Jesus Christ. You understand? So that's all I'm saying. Just because you ain't seen Jesus, right, that don't mean that he never existed. You ain't seen Caesar, you ain't seen...
You want the one question if it's 6 or no? I know the question. I just said I never saw it, so I don't even think about it.
All right,
We're
cool.
all hanging out together.
Cool. Like I said,
one thing I have to say to you, yeah, it's only one place in the Bible it mentioned that Christ is the Son of God, and in John 1 verse 16 to 17. But the funny bit about the whole story about that bit is that The man Saul, who became Paul, who was struck on the road to Damascus, he never met Christ. He came 25 years after Christ was crucified. How would he know he was the Son of God? And yet the two disciples that was close to him, the apostles, they never speak of Christ the Son of God. Christ himself, when he was judged, when he was asked 3 times, denied the fact that he was. Who are you to stand there giving a testimony with such magnitude? You're lying.
Let me ask you something. You believe the Bible? Obviously you're quoting from the scripture.
No,
so you
I'm
believe the
quoting
Bible.
you. I don't believe.
So then why are you quoting the Bible?
I don't believe. Believe is an element of doubt. Do you know?
Do you agree with the Bible? Do you accept the Bible, Bridget?
Accept.
We don't accept the Bible.
I'm
if the Bible
asking you a
is
simple
corrupt.
question, innit? Do you accept the Bible? So then why are you quoting from the Bible?
Because that's the only language I can speak true to you.
You defeat your own argument.
No, this is the only way I can speak
Alright,
true
so
to you.
let me talk Bible. to
Saul
those who wanna
who
hear
wrote
Bible. If you
Thessalonians.
don't want to hear Bible, then do your thing in it, bro.
No.
I'm not out here
Bible
trying to.
proves
If you
to
don't
you,
want,
man.
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
All I'm saying to you is that Christ never said he's the Son of God. So it's unfair if you never said.
Listen, Jesus said.
How could you go and preach
What's
about
your name?
somebody else?
Fam, what's your name? Fam, what's your name? Talk to me, Bridget. What's your name? What's your name? Come.
Let me explain something to you. Yeah? I know 98 Psalms out my head.
Come right here.
I read the Quran, I read the Bible. I read the book in and out.
Bridget.
Thessalonians, Ephesians, Galatians, all these books was written by Saul, who became Paul.
Bridget, what's your
He
name?
never met Christ. How would you know that this man is the Son of God? And you
Lord
came
have mercy.
25 years after the man died. How would you know
Bridget.
that?
Come by reason with me, innit? I'd
Saul
like to know who I'm
came
talking
25 years
to.
after Christ died. Yes or no?
Bridget, I'd like to know who I'm talking to. What is your name? Let's just start with that. Oh my
I'm
days.
asking you a question and you can't answer me. Did
What is the
Christ
question?
met Saul? Saul, Paul, the guy who wrote Thessalonians, Galatians, Ephesians, Corinthians and all.
Yeah.
Most of the book of the New Testament was
Yeah.
written by this guy
Yeah.
who was a Roman centurion who went around crucifying
No,
and
he was
cutting off
not.
the head
No,
of
he was not a
Christians.
Roman centurion.
He was a
He
centurion.
was not a Roman centurion. He was Jewish. Merchant. Yep.
Saul was a centurion,
He was not a
a
centurion,
warrior,
Brent.
have 100
Brent,
men.
he was not a
What
centurion.
is guy telling me?
He was Jewish, bro. Read Philippians. He said I was a Jew of all
When
Jews.
he was up on the
I
road
was
to
of the
Damascus
tribe
and
of
said, Saul,
Benjamin.
Saul, why
Brethren,
persecute
he
thou
was-
me?
He was Jewish.
What was he?
He was Jewish.
He's the one who go back to the Romans, Caesar, and said to him, look,
All right, look.
he's the one.
This is love, you know,
Saul
bro.
is
Because
the
you're
founder
reading some
of
different corrupt
Christianity.
manuscript. You're
Because
reading some
he's the
different
one
corrupt
who
book.
went
Let's
back
just
to
deal
the
with
Romans
facts,
and
historical
opened
facts.
their eyes and said, look,
Yeah?
this man
All
has
right.
get so much
Like I
Gentiles
said,
on your
getting
side.
back on
If we
topic.
don't get
Dealing with Jesus Christ.
system underneath our umbrella,
Jesus Christ. What's he saying?
all of the books that in the New Testament
He
actually
was a
written
Roman
by
citizen, he was a centurion.
so you don't like it.
Yeah. But when Paul was killing, when Saul was killing Christians, when Saul was killing Christians, he was doing it because of
Back
his Jewish
and read the same
convictions,
book.
not because he was
Go
Roman.
back and read the Bible.
You
He was a
understand?
Roman centurion.
He
Which
wasn't.
Jews?
Oh Lord of His mercy. All right, then. It was not a centurion. But this is a minor issue that we ain't gonna get stuck on here tonight. Because Jesus said this: unless you believe in me, you will die in your sins. That's what Jesus Christ said. Yeah. So whatever you think of the Apostle Paul and whatever, that's that, innit? Huh?
Saul never met Christ.
Who do I believe? I believe in the God of the Bible. That's right.
So basically, you believe it in this book, right? Which has been written 2,000 years ago.
This book has been written 2,000 years ago.
That's right.
And do you know how many gospels are in there?
How many gospels?
Yes.
Well, there are 4 gospel accounts that speak of one gospel.
Okay.
So it's one gospel
Do you know what is a
shared by
gospel?
4 different people.
Do you know what is a gospel?
Do you know what is the gospel?
Yes.
What is the gospel?
These gospel, they were probably just witnessing people that have been living with the apostles, they've been living with Jesus Christ, and they're writing about his life, what happened, what he did. And you know what? The Pope, the Sound Prince and everyone else, they say, okay, you know what? For us, we can keep just for it because it's good for our business. The remaining about 8, the remaining 8, we just hide them. The remaining 100, we hide them under the Vatican City. So until you can come and prove that, then we can talk about that.
You don't know history.
You know, I know history,
but the ain't facts. You got a smartphone. They use Google. So even Google will tell you that there are more New Testament manuscripts.
1 minute, bro.
No, but everyone's going to try and line up and take this out. I'm not be able to respond to it. Bro,
1 minute.
that's what I'm saying. So then let me respond in it.
1 minute, bro.
No, not 1 minute, because he had his minute and he had his 10 minutes and I haven't responded yet. Yeah, so hold on. This is what I'm saying. In response to what my man said. And then I will let you talk. You understand?
I'm not fighting.
Bro, Google. There are more than 5,000 manuscripts of the New Testament. Yeah? I'm giving you facts, bro. You can go and check the whole world. Go and check British Museum. Go and check. Bro, listen to what I'm saying, bro. Listen to what I'm saying. Yeah? There is more manuscript evidence that affirms the New Testament record. That's a fact. You understand? So you can't tell me about Vatican this, because there's more manuscripts than the Vatican's got. You understand? So what are you saying? What are you saying?
It was that in reality there was not 4 gospels, there was hundreds of gospels, and that's a fact. There's more, no, there's hundreds.
I see what you're saying.
I ain't lying. Because they found some in Egypt. In 1905, bro, they found some gospels in Egypt.
Let me give you an example.
That's a fact, ain't nothing.
Let me give you an example of that. No, Bridget. One at a time. Let me respond to you. The Gospel of Thomas, yeah, which is not in the New Testament, was recently publicized a few months back, and everyone's making a hoo-ha about, yeah, Gospel of Thomas, and it's giving you. It was rejected by the early church because it was spurious. Hold on, let me finish. The Gospel of Thomas and X amount of all of them other Gospels were rejected because the people of the time did not receive it because the information was not consistent with the facts. And so, it's not proper. How many newspapers? How do you know that? Because historic records show you that.
Historic prosecution can reject evidence. How can you dispute that?
How many newspapers print every day? How many newspapers print every day? Richard, answer my question. How many newspapers print every day? I'm asking you a simple question. Give me a guess. Right, so there's millions of newspapers. Do you think that they all agree? Like, if they're going to report one story, or all of them? Hold on.
They don't agree. They don't describe it the same way. But if it's a white van, it's a white van. They're not going to say it's an orange van. Just get that fact. That is facts. That is facts. If it's a white man, just like hold on. Just like Andrew, just like all the 4 Gospels, give 4 different accounts of Christ's crucifixion. One he was on a tree, one he was on a cross, one was in Gethsemane, one was in Island. That's not evidence, that's not facts. If it was today court, we couldn't even stand.
Is it trustworthy?
Rubbish.
Is it trustworthy?
That's the question, bro. Me and you can't decide if it's trustworthy or not. One of the scholars.
But we can. What you mean?
Me and you can't do that.
You know what? I've got faculties that I exercise to look into this stuff. Just because I haven't done a PhD in Oxford or Cambridge. You know what? Come.
What you say, brothers? Me and you, we're lay people. We can't take any gospel that was written, I don't know, X amount of hundreds of years say it's authentic. Me and you can't do that. We're not scholars.
Do you think that if God, do you think? No, I'm not. But do you think that if God exists? Listen to what I'm saying. Do you think that if God exists, that He ain't gonna help you to gain an understanding using your own faculties? Listen, what I'm saying to you is this, right? At the end of the day, information we're exposed to information every day, where we have to make discerning choices as to what you go on Wikipedia, right, and you know that there's information on there that people can put there themselves, and so you have to scrutinize. You don't know the source, but you have to look and use certain methods to discern whether or not this seems like it's substantial and evidential, or it's not. And that's every day you go on your computer, you're going to have to do it. So how are you not going to be able to exercise them same faculties to assess the scriptures? What's your name, sir? Ray, I'm Efrem. Nice to meet you. Cool.
Iron Age goat herders
You know what? Listen, you're not serious. Pam, you're not serious. Do you know who Luke was? Who was Luke? He was a gospel writer.
Well, the thing is...
Listen, hold on, Ray, let me finish. You said it was written by goat herders.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that Luke, the Gospel of Luke is regarded... Listen, the Gospel of Luke is regarded to be one of the finest
written 70 years after Jesus supposedly died. Exactly.
70 years. Can you tell me something that happened 100 years ago? Listen, the first gospel... Ray, can I give you a fact? Ray, can I give you a fact? Yes, there is. Tacitus, he's a Roman historian. Josephus is a Jewish historian. Josephus is not if you're going to call his record of Jesus into question, you have to call all of the Jewish
120 million times.
And
he came across the sea of
Okay, so what about evolution? You believe in evolution?
But then the science disproves evolution. Science disproves evolution. Ray, the law of entropy, the second law of thermodynamics, states that everything tends towards decay. Left to itself, all natural matter tends towards decay. That in itself contradicts evolution. Because decay is that which results from periods of processes of time. So that evolution, how can things generate and become more complex when actually things are, and as we see daily, becoming more degenerated and less complex? You know what? Richard Dawkins is... You know what? Even evolutionists... And listen to what I'm saying. Even evolutionists see Richard Dawkins as the tabloid version of what their yeah, but it means that he's not someone that is even taken seriously by his own peers. No, I haven't.
Oh, right, okay. So I've read the Bible, and Richard Dawkins, you haven't read the Bible. How can you even deny
No, but I'm not going to tell you that I've read the whole God Delusion, but I've read excerpts, and I've read reviews. So let me ask you this. If you've read the Bible from cover to cover 24 times,
yes, when I was a youth.
Okay. Is that a disclaimer? Alright, okay. So you've read it for 24 times cover to cover. Did you see read a book that seemed as though, and particularly with regards to the Gospels and the accounts of Jesus Christ, that this person was not a real person?
The 1st of April.
Honestly, did it come across that Jesus wasn't a real person?
People still believe wise men follow stars across the sky.
Rubbish. What I'm saying is, you can't prove the Bible is true from the Bible. Otherwise, I can prove that.
But there's you have to remember that the Bible is a book. Listen. It spans a period of 1,800 years. In terms of its. So listen to what I'm saying, Ray. Come on. You can't just, because this person was a goat herder, or this person was a shepherd, or this person was a king. There are over 40 writers, and they were from all different walks of life. Yeah? Hold on, Ray. No. Ray, how are they? So gospel writers weren't living in the Iron Age.
Okay, so they're 1,000 years later.
No, but it spans a period of 1,800 years.
So they're Bronze Age.
Listen,
the people who write the Gospel Bronze Age.
Ray, what does that mean if God is using them to write? What difference does that make?
So prove to me that God wrote the Bible.
Well, I don't have to prove to you. The Bible is self-evidential.
No, but you have to prove to me because it's not me. You can't prove it. So you're going to prove
but I can. All right, look. The Bible gives prophecy that in just Sunday I spoke on Isaiah chapter 53. It was written 700 years before Christ. It was written 400 years before crucifixion was even invented, and yet it so accurately portrays and specifies the manner in which. Listen, I'm just telling you. I'm giving you one among many things. Prophecy, the predictive aspects of Scripture prove it's as internal evidence that it is written by God. Let me give you another example. Archaeological evidence. Yeah, there was a ruler called Quirinius. that Luke speaks of.
Right.
And for years, it was said that this guy don't exist. He don't agree with his history. Listen to what I'm saying, fam. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm giving you more. We could be here all night giving you evidences. No, but what you're saying is that the Bible's just a whole load of rubbish. And I'm not giving you things and you're making concessions every step of the way.
I said to you, prove that God wrote the Bible.
I am, fam, I am. How can you predict to me what's going to happen next year?
I don't. Who can? No one can.
But God predicted where the Messiah would be born hundreds of years before. In Micah, it predicted that Christ would be born in Bethlehem.
Yeah, archaeologically he's only born there anyway.
Listen.
Look at the fact that he wasn't born there. The fact is the thing.
Alright, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. In regards to evidence, yeah, this is what C.S. Lewis said, yeah, and you tell me what you think. C.S. Lewis said there is more than sufficient evidence.
C.S. Lewis inspired as well? You're telling me?
I'm just giving you a quote, mate.
No, but I'm asking you a question because I know where it's going.
I'm just giving you a quote. You can tell me what you think afterwards, yeah? C.S. Lewis said, there is more than sufficient evidence to believe anyone who is willing to believe. So my question to you is this. If there was evidence sufficient to convince you, would you be willing? Would you be willing to accept it? If there was evidence sufficient to convince you that God wrote the Bible, would you be willing to accept it? So then you got my details, let's dialogue. Because this ain't something that's going to be resolved out here on the soapbox. Yeah, but I just gave you stuff. Come, I just gave you evidences.